Hello, it's me again on my Switch. Ritzy Roy is back. Last time we made a video on how to deal with zoners. Today I'm going to be making a video on how to pick your main, or specifically a very important attribute for picking your main that is usually overlooked, and I find it very important. So I think I'm gonna make a video on it. So a lot of the times, if someone's asking, here's the main things that people are asking when they're trying to find a main. Do you want someone who's flashy, which a lot of characters, flashy is up to the eye of the beholder. You want someone who's fast. You want someone who hits hard. You want combos, zoning, or someone who can do all of that, basically. So those are all really, really good things, and those usually help you narrow down a main. But another huge aspect to this game that we all forget is the physics of the character, which I'm gonna pick out two characters who have completely opposite physics, so I can like really display what I'm talking about. Which I think is really cool. Nintendo did this because these two are rivals. So here we have Wolf and Fox. Both these characters are fast, but if you told a beginner to the game that Wolf is fast, he might be confused because he'll probably take him to training range and run around with him and realize his sprint speed is kind of bad. On top of that, his grounded frame data is alright, but it's not really fast. It doesn't really look like he's going to be doing any hype gameplay. But then he'll probably jump around and then realize he has one of the fastest movement speeds in the air in the game. Which this is important because your movement speed, depending on where it's at, is going to determine a lot. For this reason, Wolf is a stronger edge guarder than Fox. He's a stronger edge guarder than Fox, and he is way stronger, like, I would say, aerial approach game, and for that reason he has a little more mix-up. His movement's also kind of confusing because on one hand he's very slow, and on the other hand he can close the ground really fast. On top of that, he has a really effective double jump back, like it's clears space extremely fast. And if you do your IDJ, like you're dashing in, if you do IDJ back, I'm already messing it up, but if you do IDJ back while you're dashing in, it's pretty quick how fast he can get you out of it. So that's just showing it. Another thing about Wolf is a lot of his combo game is dependent on this really good. It's either going to be like on his burst option he has in the ground, which is going to be dash attack, or it's going to be usually dependent on his really good airspeed, which allows him to chase people around. Now, actually, I'll just go Fox. I don't have my control hooked up today. So if I go Fox, he is literally the complete opposite to Wolf, which isn't bad or good. It's different. It's just a different way to move around. So, as you guessed, a noob or a beginner who was trying to pick a character, they went to training range and they experimented, and they went Fox, they would instantly think, oh, this character is super fast. Until they jump and realize he actually has one of the slowest horizontal aerial movement speeds in the game, which that's very important. For that reason, his edge guarding is actually a little bit weaker, and I would honestly say, even though his recovery goes further, his mix-up off the stage is actually a lot weaker than Wolf's, because Wolf can drift a lot better off stage. Which means, basically just your off-stage play in general is a lot weaker and a little more risky. And on top of that, you fall faster than him. Now that's an upside too, because you have one of the fastest falling mix-ups in the game. So if I was to have someone in the air, if I was to have someone high up in the air from like a move or whatever, and I was trying to chase them, but I saw them do an option, he can quickly fast fall down and just fan out whenever he's trying to hit you, which is super important. That's actually a lot of Fox's gameplay is going to rely around the fact that you have like an insanely fast fall speed. You just keep baiting people out. And on top of the insanely fast fall speed, you have a super quick rise speed. So that synergizes with itself into the fact that he has a really good up air. And all that comes together to give him his god tier juggle pressure. Now the problem is his side-to-side juggle pressure isn't amazing. But luckily for him, unlike Wolf, he doesn't have too many moves that are going to hit you side-to-side in the air when you're juggling. He just has that really good up air, which for the most part hits you straight up. Which is absolutely terrifying to deal with. So these are two fast characters in their own right, but they're fast in completely different ways. So that's why I felt like it'd be important to cover them completely differently. But not all characters. I'll just mute this ad. I'll put it back on that though. Not all characters in this game are going to struggle from that weakness. My main, for example, Roy literally doesn't have to trade anything for his. Well, he does trade things for his speed, but Roy. Let me actually break down Roy. Roy is fast in movement speed. Yes. I think the ad's over now. Yes, it is. So Roy, movement speed wise, is very fast, you know. But if you play him, one of his weaknesses you're gonna notice if you start to play him a lot. If you just fight him, you'll think, oh yeah, his moves come on pretty quickly. But if you play him, you'll understand he can lose to a lot of like air-to-air situations or just situations in general where you need to have better frame data. Because his moves don't come out super fast; they're just average. Which usually that's fine if you're not fighting top tiers. When you're fighting really good characters, having average frame data sometimes can get you killed, just because you can't. Roy usually isn't going to beat too many people on a draw with frame data unless you're fighting another slow character. Which is a few top tiers who don't have really good frame data, but that's just a general gist of Roy, that you're not usually going to beat too many people on the draw with him. Now, to make up for that, you have slightly slower run speed than Fox and really good air speed. Which this allows Roy to do a lot of stuff like land behind up air, which leads to things. And this synergizes with the fact that Roy's cross-up game is actually really good too. So another character who's really fast in their own right, but it translates to something completely differently. Now I'm gonna go to my last real quick character to demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'll demonstrate some slow characters too. Where is she? ZSS. So ZSS, unlike the other people, she does have her setups and combos, but I would say she's less about setups and combos. She's less about getting that one hit and blowing it up, and she's more about traps. I always make this weird comparison that it might not make sense at first, but she's kind of like a really fast snake, where she doesn't have like a lot of. She does have combos, but they're more like her more powerful things she can do is trapping you in a situation, putting you in disadvantage state, and forcing you to hold something. Like forcing you to do something, like baiting you into doing bad options. And her speed on her comes down to the fact that she can extend her traps. They're not actually true combos half the time. They're usually just traps or setups. But she can extend those way further and cover more options with them. Kind of like Fox can do with his up air. But on top of that, she has insanely good runaway game. And whenever she's in disadvantage state, her flip kick is probably like one of the best moves to have in disadvantage state. It's amazing. It has iframes on its startup, and it makes you fly forward really quickly. But on top of that, she also has the fact that her natural drift is just really good. So if you combine her natural drift with her air dodge, and suddenly you're covering like unnecessary amounts of ground just because you're stupidly fast. Fox can't exactly do that just because he falls super fast. He can mix you up with his air spot dodge, but he can't exactly like do an air dodge and then like be all halfway across the stage. So that's what I mean by physics matter, because like there's a lot of characters in this game who are quote unquote fast, but the way they're fast or what their fastness means for them is purely different depending on who you play. Like it doesn't matter. Because Joker, I would say, is quick in the sense of he's able to pressure and put out APM, but he's not actually like the fastest guy around. He's just a little above average in movement speed. He's not the fastest character. He seems quick when people play him, but it's really just the fact that Joker can do a lot of options really quick. Like he has nice APM and stuff like that, and he can cover a lot of things quickly, but he's not actually going to be outrunning Fox or out airspeeding Wolf or something like that. So he's fast in a different way. So that hopefully clears up on finding a main for speed. Actually, I lie. I'll do one more character quick. So Captain Falcon is one of the first fast characters in Smash Bros. Besides Fox, and he is just straight up fast with everything. Like his airspeed isn't amazing, but it's still pretty darn good. Like he drifts very well. He has insanely good air control, and Falcon speed usually translates over to his combo game. Like he can camp you out, but usually the thing you're going to want to use Falcon speed for. In neutral, you're usually just kind of like waiting for your way to get in. You know, you're just baiting stuff out and not going too fast. Because you are very punishable. You're playing a little safer. And then once you get in, you're just going to use your movement speed to just obliterate them with combos. Because Falcon's main strength is going to be the fact that he can use his speed to follow up on you. Kind of like Fox. Except unlike Fox, who like juggles you, Falcon stuff. I'm not showing true combos because once again, this setup has a lot of input delay. But just to like give you an idea, Falcon stuff is mainly, if you get good with Falcon, his stuff is true. It becomes more of a, if he can read your DI, he can true combo you. Versus Fox, where like if he knows you're going to true combo you. So keep that in mind with Falco, Captain Falcon. So yeah, speed translates to different things on different people, and speed is different on everyone. Like, not all fast characters are fast for the same reason, or can do the same thing with their speed, honestly. Because I made the comparison how Fox and Wolf are opposites. I would say probably Captain Falcon and Zero Suit are opposites, where Captain Falcon's going to be true comboing you, and mainly using his speed just for true combos, and slightly... Actually, let me show you guys why you can't use your speed too much for neutral. Your ground speed. One of the main things that stops you from using all your ground speed for neutral is the fact that this might not look like nothing at the start, but if you play this game competitively, you know that dash dance is actually kind of a problem. You can't like turn around as easy as other people. His speed's still useful in neutral and still useful for approach, but it's not as good as it could be, basically. Because like you can't turn around. So you still use his speed in neutral, but the main use of Captain Falcon's speed is going to be advantage state, and you just use some of it for neutral. From my main experiences, it's still useful for neutral, but you're mainly going to use it to like up his insanely good punish game. That's where it goes into. Versus Zero Suit Samus, the speed helps with punish game, but it also adds to the fact that she is absolutely oppressive neutral. That probably some of the best neutral in the game. Some of the best neutral and some of the best disadvantage state. Captain Falcon has insanely bad disadvantage state, and his speed doesn't help him out too much in it because he fastballs. But ZSS's god tier air drift and her really good double jump. She gets a double jump multiplier combined with her flip kick, means her mobility is going to help her completely in neutral and completely in disadvantage state. So literally like inverted Captain Falcon. I guess the best way to think of it, they're both very fast characters, but their speed, once again, it translates to something different in their character. That's like the main thing I'm trying to get across with speed. Now, let me play a character who some might consider as slow, but they're not really slow, I guess. So I'll go Snake. So some people consider Snake to be his biggest problem is that he's slow, which he is and isn't. By that, there's a reason why you can say he's slow. His movement attributes are just a little below average. They're not really that bad. Like, he can run around alright. Like, if it really comes down, if he has to scrap with you, he can run. Like, he can move. He can't run away amazingly, but he can move around the map decently. The reason why some people consider him slow is he doesn't have amazing APM like Fox. Or Fox or Joker. By that, if you do landing there, you see how there's some in lag on it? Snake is going to be more... A lot of Snake's speed is going to come from his burst options. This is the thing I covered in my Zoner guide, is that Snake is going to be all about like burst options or things on ticks. Things that happen on timers. For example, this. Dash attack is probably one of the best dash attacks in the game. And it's an amazing burst option that moves him forward and puts out a really big hitbox. So this is where his speed's going to come in. Now, depending on who you talk to, they'll say he's a slow... Most people are going to say he's a slow character, but they're not exactly going to explain it. Now, a character who just straight up is slow is, like, a straight up, just all-around slow character is going to be Violet. She doesn't really have burst options or anything like that. Well, I'm playing Violet. He is just going to be slow. Like, his frame data, he doesn't have 2 moves that come out really, really fast. He has Nair, that's really it. The only like quick move he has is Nair, but everything comes out slow. His burst options all have a lot of in lags, so they're not really spammable. And he's not really going to be doing too many like things into each other besides Nair. Nair is like his only move that has speed, but all around he's a slower APM and a slower movement speed character. Snake is just slower movement speed and slower APM, but he makes up for that by having insane amounts of burst options. He's just... His speed is all based on, like, what's it called? His speed is going to be all based on, like, in this situation, or, like, right here, he can move fast for a few seconds, and he's back to normal speed. Or he can do, he can do a move that comes out really fast for a few seconds, but then he's back to being slow. But his neutral mainly relies on, yeah, his shifting between his slow speeds and his quick speeds. But competitively, Snake, some players like Shogun or God, there was a really cool Snake I saw the other day. Can make this character look like he's really fast and he's a brawling, scrapping character. And it's just because Snake is one of those people who's really, really versatile. Like you can kind of do whatever you want with him. Thing I've always said is Snake isn't really a zoner. He's just a good all-around character that happens to have zoning, who struggles with the fact that not all of his frame data is super high APM. It's more bursty. I think a decent comparison I can make to Snake is maybe he's kind of like charge characters from like Street Fighters, where they can do high APM, but it's if they're set up in the position to do it. They can't just always do it. They can do high special moves per second, but they need to have their charge first. That's how Snake is. He needs to be in his right situation to do all of his stuff. But once he's set up, he's actually really fast. Versus Roy, who's probably more comparable to someone like Adon from Street Fighter 4, where he's just all around moving. He's just moving all the time. While Snake is probably like Guile, where he has to charge up his fireball and slowly shoot it at you. Even his DP needs to charge and stuff like that. So physics are out of the way. I'll look at a little bit of punish and advantage state. So another big thing about selecting a main, most of the video was gonna be on physics. This part is the thing that most people are gonna tell you about, but I'll just go over it real quickly. Is the way they express advantage state, because it differs a lot between people. I'm gonna go DK because I personally think he is the best advantage state in like the game. Only comparable to probably like Sephiroth or something like that. So the way he's gonna express advantage state mainly is if he gets his grab and he gets his cargo throw up, he can usually do dumb stuff off of that. Versus, like he can just do this. Like he can get really creative if he cargo throws you up, basically. So he's gonna express his advantage state through really good juggles. He can. This isn't the percent. At certain percents, he can just bear loop you too, and he basically gets it by just dash attacking you. It's like really hard to turn around after bear, for me at least. So he can do stuff like that. Like he can just dash attack you. Now you're in the air. Now you're getting up air, and suddenly you're taking like 50 billion %. So DK mainly, I would say, excels at I think they call it sharking, or just mainly having a really good up air that stops you from coming down. It's kind of similar to how Pikachu or Chrom or Lucina is, or Sephiroth. They all have that really nice move that stops you from coming down. They can just keep juggling you. That's what I call it. Versus someone like, let's say, I love her. She was my old main. I used to play her a lot, but I dropped her because when the offline meta came, it kind of destroyed my interest in this character because she's dreadful. Sheik, on the other hand, is kind of different. She's going to express her advantage state usually through corner carry and stuff like that. Like through corner carry, through loops and resets and things like that. It's going to be kind of like how Captain Falcon expresses his advantage state. But she's going to be looping you and comboing you and doing stuff like this. Very different from how Donkey Kong does it. Now, this is important because both are strong. One is technically a lot harder to do, but the thing is, usually people who have Sheik's level of advantage state, I can almost guarantee you will almost always have better neutral. That's usually how it is. Like people like, I would say Pikachu's advantage state is actually closer to Sheik than Donkey Kong, because Pikachu isn't just up airing you, he's doing a lot more. I'll go Pikachu. Pikachu is gonna have that same sort of like looping you and comboing you and just locking you down and not letting you move and mixing you up type of advantage state versus just juggling you the whole time. So Pikachu can do stuff like back air, or he can do down throw. Hold on, let's see if I can get it in the input delay. Down throw, drag down air, up tilt, boom, back air. Like he's gonna be doing stuff like that. I'm no East Hams, I'm not showing his full combos, but just the basics of what Pikachu can do when he has you in disadvantage. He's mainly gonna have a similar neutral to Sheik, where he's gonna like hit you a few times, and he's just gonna keep the train of hits going. Versus Donkey Kong, where he's just gonna keep juggling you, or he's gonna keep putting you off stage and just killing you really fast. Oh yeah, Ike's a really good example of this too. I don't think I need to. I think you guys basically get what I'm saying. There's some characters who are gonna combo you and edge guard you in disadvantage, and there's other people who have like that one really big move that they can just keep throwing at you over and over again. This is important because, like I said earlier, generally the neutral is going to be. Generally, people with that one really big move don't have amazing neutral, besides Lucina, because she's an exception. She has some of the best neutral in the game, and she has like juggle moves. Like Lucina is versatile too, but she doesn't just have to juggle you like Donkey Kong. She can do a lot of things, but she can also do that. She's one of those characters that can kind of do a lot of things depending on how she wants to play. Another exception to the rule is Falco, because Falco's advantage state is probably the second best in the game, but it's not like Donkey Kong's. That's the weird part. It's not like Donkey Kong's where he juggles you. It's more like it's more closer to Sheik, where he's like gonna get you in a loop and he's just gonna keep you in it, and he can just keep putting the pressure on you. And the thing about Falco, unlike Sheik, is he kind of just gets his combos off of like anything. Now his main bread and butter is probably gonna be what's it called? Up tilt. Up tilt's gonna be his main bread and butter for combo starter, for combo everything. But you don't need to do up tilt. Like if you're feeling ballsy, you could just do run up down tilt, which then gives you drag down fair, which you can loop that. Let's see if I can get it. So you can do this, and you can just like keep looping this. This is by the way, drag down fair into grab is a 50-50 on certain characters, because I can go for drag down fair into. There's 3 options I can do, but they're each countered the same way. This is actually better if I show it on Bowser. So just like with Sheik, Falco's gonna be more 50-50 in you and like reading your options and mainly keeping you not close to ground, mainly just keeping you locked in a combo, which is gonna require constant interaction from Falco, and just throwing you into a lot of 50-50s and mix-ups. Like this, hold on. Oh my god, let me get the jump, please. It's like not inputting my jump now. Okay, hold on. There we go. It's like actually kind of annoying to get now because it's like it's not letting me input jump. Maybe I'm too close to him. I can get the combo on Wolf but not Bowser. There we go. Okay, here we go. So this situation Bowser is in, a better Falco can literally just continue that. And he can keep mixing up. Like he can do down tilt out of it. He could just complete nair by not fast falling. He can do fast fall this into another fast fall fair and just keep mixing you up. I don't play Falco, but if I had to guess, I would think, judging by how I got the combo, it's based on where you have them at. So like you have to hit them with the beak of it. But this is like basically like a loop that could just keep going on forever and ever. Now this advantage state, on top of the fact that it affects neutral, is stronger against certain characters. That type of advantage state is almost useless against Pikachu because he's one of the best combo breakers in the game, which is why characters like Sheik and Falco are hard countered by Pikachu, because that's how they hold advantage state. They usually loop you and combo you. Now, a character like Ike actually doesn't do completely. It's -1, but he can kind of fight Pikachu just because his advantage state isn't a combo. It's literally just big sword, go boom, basically. That's why I've been playing him a lot lately, because he is very simple advantage state, which is why he does alright against Pikachu. As Pikachu is one of the hardest characters in the game to combo, but everyone can fall victim to getting sharked or juggled, which he's like DK, where he just has that one really stupid move that just keeps you in the air the whole time. Whether that be nair or up tilt or up air or bear if he's feeling real ballsy, he usually just has that one move that's just gonna keep you up. And on neutral, he just really can bully Pikachu with the fact that he has way more range than him. So Lucina and Ike, Lucina is basically just a faster Ike, Lucina and Crumb, where like they're gonna be doing similar things. They're gonna be keeping you up, but they're gonna do a sort of alright against Pikachu in the fact that their advantage state isn't combo reliant. Now they're both gonna struggle with the fact that they can get edge guarded. And the last type of advantage state I can really think about that I didn't cover is gonna be the Snake, or like the set play advantage state. This is gonna be shared by Snake, to some extent, Min Min, Pac-Man, Isabelle. In very weird circumstances, Joker can do some sort of set play like stuff. Peach, definitely Link, both Samuses obviously, and Game & Watch. There's more examples like DDD, and rarely Mega Man's usually not set playing you, he's usually just spamming you, but he can set play you. But let me go Snake, because I think he's the best demonstrator of like set play advantage state. So Snake's advantage state can look something like he gets you sticky. Well, I stuck myself. Hold on. He gets you sticky, right? So he gets a sticky bomb on you, and he's dropping nades on your face, and suddenly the pressure's adding up, and you don't know what to do. Suddenly he's blowing you up. There's always explosives coming at you, and you're at like 70. Just like with the rest of Snake's kit, this is all on a burst. So that's what's mainly important about. That's what's mainly the three types of advantage. You have either combos, juggles, or you're gonna have set play where you just basically you trap them and put them in a really bad position, and you can just keep tacking on percent with whatever your trapping tool is. ZSS has a bit of all of it, which is why she's one of the best. ZSS and Palutena kind of have all that, which is why they're some of the best characters in the game. Like, she can kind of set play you, she can juggle you, and she can also just combo you.
Ron makes the best margaritas.
Why does the salt not taste salty? Oh, because
I'll go over neutral real quick.
Vacation friends.
This video is mainly just about picking a main. Neutral is a lot easier to break down, because I don't need to go as intense with neutral. So between neutral, you're usually gonna have like your hybrid zoners who like Link and Snake, who can they can sometimes throw stuff at you, or they can fight you. Basically, Link is gonna be, he's a character who has really good set play advantage state, really good hybrid neutral. But on top of that, he can kind of just play the game like a normal character with good juggles too. He can kind of just juggle and beat you up, or he can combo you. Link is a common thing with Link in all my videos. You're gonna notice that he's kind of just good at just about everything. He's a very well-rounded character whose biggest weakness is the fact that they're not the fastest character around. They're not the fastest movement speed character around. Like grounded and aerial based, they're kind of slow. The young Link is just Link sped up with lower damage output and not really as much set play stuff. Lower damage output and lower kill power, less set play stuff. Well, not really lower damage output, just lower kill power. That's it, and not as much range. But after that, you do get way more movement speed, which is nice. And then Toon Link is Link with the lowest damage output and kill power, but his movement speed is cranked to the max. Like you can dance around Pikachu and like Foster Toon Link. Like he's quick. You're not faster than them, but you can you're fast enough where you can dance around them, which is one of the reasons why I actually played Toon Link for a while, is because he's quick. His neutral is probably gonna be more projectile based because he doesn't have too many options to bully you with. So I'll play him real quick. This is a character. This is a Link that's mainly gonna want to shoot projectiles at you. Adult Link has two modes, where I would definitely say Toon Link's main neutral is going to be the fact that he has a very flexible projectile game. He has bomb, boomerang, up tilt, which leads to combos. Like he mainly could just put the hurting on you with the projectiles. His bombs are like a bootleg Snake grenade, where they're just super flexible and annoying, and you can kind of set play you with them, but not as much as Snake can with grenades. So yeah, Toon Link's neutral is mainly going to be based around the huge assortment of projectiles he has, which is more than enough to play neutral with. And then his punch, his advantage state is going to be definitely closer to combo. It's going to be closer to it's going to be a mixture between the combo advantage state and the set play that Snake has. That's Toon Link's advantage state. Let's see. So that's the projectile neutral. And then you've got Roy, who's purely just going to be the combat, the dancey type neutral. Like, Roy is purely like the agile defender neutral, where he can get in on you, he can bait you, he can feint, and do a lot of stuff like that. This is generally going to be the preferred neutral in this game, where you can bait people and feint them and dance around and stuff. Because that's nice to have in any fighting game, and Roy excels at it. One of the things that makes Roy such a good character is he has just like with Lucina, he can do he can combo you or he can juggle you in advance. He can kind of do a bit of everything. And then Lucina has Roy's neutral, but just better, basically. Because on top of the fact that he can run around and bait you, Lucina's going to have the benefits of the fact that she can outrange you and bait you. She can be about your speed, outrange you, bait you, force you to do things, and her sword is so annoying that sometimes it's almost like a projectile, where it's like zoning you out and stuff. So she can stop you from hitting her, outrange you, sometimes even outframe data you, and move faster than... She's faster than Link and stuff. So if you're a slow character, she's quicker than you. So yeah, imagine Roy's neutral, but just more frustrating to deal with. So let's see, run around bait, projectile, and then you have characters like Peach, where they're not really quick enough to really run around and dash dance that much. There's multiple characters. You got like Peach. I'm trying to show mainly good, like mainly tournament used characters. There's a lot of people in the game who have this, but not a lot of them are viable. Like Ganondorf has a similar-ish neutral type to Peach, where like he can't really run around and bait you. Another character with it is Falco. Like Falco's neutral type, he's slow, but he has burst options, so that's gonna be his benefit. He is kind of slow though, so mainly neutral. If he's in your face, there's not a lot of running away and feigning he can do. He's mainly gonna want to walk up to you, get within his striking range, and start pressuring you and throwing out his moves. So Falco, because he's a slow guy, he's almost always gonna be playing tag with you. He's always trying to get towards you so he can beat you up, basically. That's how Falco and Peach are. They're not amazingly fast. They're always gonna be playing tag, trying to get in your face and beat you up, or using... In Falco's case, he can sometimes use his burst options to get in, but he's usually trying to walk up and get in. And if he has the lead, he can usually sit back with lasers. But rarely can Falco dance around you and do a lot of that really cool stuff that Roy can do and bait you in. Falco's mainly either going to be trying to play tag and get close to you, or he's keeping you out with lasers. He's not going to be keeping you out with his movement speed, because everybody and their mama is faster than Falco. That's like one of the main weaknesses of playing him. Everybody's gonna be quicker than Falco. Let's see, slow, projectiles, dance type, neutral, and then Snake has like a really weird... Snake and Min Min have like a kind of like a weird... They have like set play burst neutral, where Snake without projectiles would be somewhat like Falco's neutral, where he's not the fastest guy around, so he's kind of just like waiting for you to do stuff, and he's not dancing around you too much. With projectiles, he's like a hybrid between Falco's, and then he has some set play burst type stuff in there. So like his advantage state kind of looks like his neutral in a way, where he's putting down nades and stuff like that, and he's just blowing you up while also moving at like around Falco pace, but faster. So yeah, that's the 4 neutral types. Now that I got all of the neutral types, the physics and advantage states out of the way, I would say if you're someone who likes blowing up people with combos, I recommend probably Captain Falcon, Roy, Joker. Ken's very technical, but if you want to go down the road, definitely try him out. Terry, Inkling, Greninja, Chrom, because he actually is pretty decent at blowing people up. And maybe Kirby too, but he's kind of slow. Kirby is very similar neutral to Falco. If you want to play a more analytical game, like a more analytical... If you came from like Street Fighters and you like playing footsies, like a really analytical game, I recommend Kazuya, because he has like that same dumb damage output, but his neutral is really tough. So Kazuya, Ike, he has more of an analytical neutral, besides the fact you're spamming there, but trying to get in is more analytical. Ike, sometimes Min Min's neutral is kind of technical, it depends. It really depends on who you're fighting. And Falco, like they have that more like smarter neutral where they don't have too many options, they just have to rely on their brain. And Ganondorf too. And Byleth too. Not also Byleth, yeah. And if you like bullying people, not bullying people, but if you like having more range in the enemy, not exactly being a zoner, but if you like the sort of Chun-Li type of playstyle, then I definitely what am I trying to say? I definitely think you should play Lucina. Or Marth if you're trying to be cooler. Mr. Pyra, they also do it. Sephiroth when he gets one wing. and where is he? Cloud. These are the characters that are gonna give you like the oh yeah, and Shulk too. Those characters give you more of like a Chun-Li, where like I'm faster and have longer range than you, but my damage output isn't broken. It's just the fact that I can consistently win neutral. So yeah, now I broke all that down. Try and pick your main. If you have any questions about a character in the comments, just type it out. If you're still confused, I can probably respond to some comments and see if I can break some things down for you with the character. And I might start doing like a before you main series of each character so you can see their strengths and weaknesses. So you don't fall into the traps that I did. So I made a lot of people in this game at some point, and I know a lot of their weaknesses, and I know a lot of the things that people won't tell you before you pick up the character, or people will overplay before you pick up the character. Like people overplay the fact that Snake is slow. I've played Snake a little bit now, and I can confirm he's slow, but you can get around it with just good neutral. Or they'll overplay the fact that Falco has bad neutral, but if you work on your own personal neutral enough as a player and you play smart enough, that's not too much of a problem. So yeah, this is Ritzy Roy signing out. Try and find a main. Hopefully this tutorial helps you. See you later.